ShartimusPrime, ShartimusPrime. Reading comics, toys are hella sick, hella whacking it, taking bad hits, taking bad shit. Subscribe.
Hulk dab! Hey, what's up you guys? ShartimusPrime here, doing another Marvel Legends action figure review on the San Diego Comic-Con 2019 exclusive Marvel Legends The Collector and Grandmaster 2-pack. If you're trying to pick this up, you can do so. I just said it's a San Diego Comic-Con exclusive. You can find this at booth 3329 at San Diego Comic-Con. But if you're trying to get your Marvel Legends, you can also do so.
Big! Get your big badass toys at BigBadToyStore.com. Click the link in the description below.
And I gotta give a big thanks to Hasbro for sending out this free sample my way. Thank you guys so much, I really appreciate it. And looking at the packaging over here, this looks awesome. I really dig this quite a bit. You see Cosmo right over there in the background, you get interchangeable heads. We get the stone right there, that's pretty cool, or the orb anyway. And then you can see all this circuit design right over here. You can feel the spot varnishing going on, so that's very cool. And on the back right over here, on the other side anyway, you can see the Grandmaster, and you can see the whole puddle right over there, the organic goop. That's cool. The melt stick right there. We get that new head sculpt. Now on the top, it says Marvel right here, spot varnished right there. Not much more at the bottom. And then you have some Velcro holding this all together, and you could swing this open and you can see a poster image for Guardians of the Galaxy, and there's a read-up over there for the collector. If you want to read it, go ahead and pause it right now. And then over here you can see a poster image from Thor Ragnarok, and there's a read-up on the Grandmaster. If you want to read it, go ahead and pause it right now. Alright, I'm excited for these, so let's get to it and crack these things open. Here's the collector and the Grandmaster out of the packaging, and I gotta say I'm pretty happy with this 2-pack. Now we're only getting a new head sculpt right there for the Grandmaster, but that collector figure, I think this is the only way you can get the collector, so I'm pretty stoked about that. And we get some decent accessories with these figures as well, so let's get a closer look at those, and then we'll take a closer look at the figures. So here's all the accessories that come in this 2-pack set. We get 2 head sculpts for the collector, which we'll take a look at in just a moment, but we get the same orb that we had seen with the Star-Lord figure that came out for Guardians of the Galaxy 1 several years ago. A piece of lint right there. But yeah, it's the same orb as before. I don't see anything different right over here. I can't find the original one at the moment, but yeah, looks pretty good. I like the sculpt of it and everything. And then we get the melt stick for the Grandmaster, and I think this is the same exact melt stick that we'd seen with the 2-pack that comes with Cork, which I'll be reviewing later this week. This one's just a little bit warped right here, so I may need to heat this up and straighten it out, but I like that we get a little bit of color variation at the end right here with this bronze colored paint. A little bit of nicking going on right there, but not a big deal. And then we get the melt stick puddle, which is great. I love this. This looks awesome. I love this metallic blue paint. Looks so freaking cool. Even when you darken things up, it really shines very bright. There's the underside of it right there. There's this one edge right over here where it looks like, I guess it came off a mold or something like that. I'm not sure, but you know, the paint still looks really good. So just a quick comparison of the Grandmaster figure over here next to some Jeff Goldblum playing the Grandmaster. I think they did a really good job with this. I don't really have many complaints about this thing. There's just something going on about the overbite that just throws me off a little bit, but really I think this is spot on. Like really for the most part, my nitpicks are just like super nitpicky. I really think that looks like Jeff Goldblum to me, man. I don't know, if you don't think so, let me know what part of it doesn't. I guess like maybe the eyes look a little bit too chill, but his eyes are supposed to look like that. This is what he's supposed to look like. It looks really good. I'm very pleased with that. He's got that nose going on, right? Got that Goldblum nose. The hair looks really good. Love the color variation in the grays right here for the hair. That looks great. You know, you can see some white over this darker gray, so I'm very pleased with that. Great looking head sculpt. My biggest gripe with this figure actually is that this head sculpt and the neck just don't really match. I'm trying to peel this open, but yeah, you can see that that neck is super thick. I mean, it's almost wider than his jaw right there, so I think his neck should have been a little bit thinner. You could move this back a little bit, but yeah, you know, so I don't know, that throws me off a little bit, I think, but let me know what you guys think in the comment section. And then looking at his robe, this looks really good. I love all these little swirly lines sculpted on that robe. Nice red paint right here. You can untab the robe, so you can, you know, reveal the Grandmaster's Grandmaster if you wanted to. It's my birthday! And then you can see right here, we get some more of this nice textured pattern on this waistband. The shirt looks really good right there, so I'm digging that. I really like the color of the robe. I think this is awesome. Really digging this quite a bit. It's fairly stiff, not super stiff, but you know, enough where you can move it around a little bit. It would be cool to have one where like it was made in a way where you can have him sitting on a throne or in a chair at least. That would have been cool. Well, I would have loved if he came with a keyboard, you know. I love that they have that scene in there where he's actually playing the keys, because that's really how Jeff Goldblum got started in showbiz, is that he's a jazz pianist, you know, fantastic piano player. But anyway, looking at his hands right over here, they got the fingernails all painted and everything. So that looks pretty good. I thought it was just the fingernails, not like the whole tips of the fingers. I don't know. So I guess that detail is still tricky. Oh, it looks like it's just the fingertips on this side, so that's cool. Yeah, so just the fingernails right here on this side, they nailed that. But on the right side, it looks like they painted the whole fingertip, so not a big deal, man. And then right here at the legs, you could see that from the thigh joint down, we get the Nick Fury legs, so that's pretty cool. And I like that we get this gunmetal gray color, so I like that. There's a little bit of a shine to it, so that makes me happy. And then we get the Goldblum patas looking fantastic. So they did not screw these up at all. They nailed it. They got every single one of those Jeff Goldblum tootsies painted perfectly. That looks just great. Okay, and he even has toe rings, which I never really thought about, you know what I mean? That's kind of funny. But yeah, nice gold paint on there and everything too, and more of these swirly sculpted lines throughout, so I like that. Nice attention to detail. Kind of thick ankles right here. Yeah, but he's got thick neck, thick ankles, and he still has peg holes at the bottom of his feet. And you can also see that we get this sleeve right here on the left side. We don't get the sleeve on the right side right there. And I want to say I really like this textured pattern that we're seeing right here too. I think that looks pretty cool. So that wraps around a little splotchy on the edges, but not a big deal. But anyway, I wanted to show off the figure without the robe on here. So you just want to throw the arms back, and then you can start peeling this all the way back right here. Not too tricky to do, and you can see that we get the blue on the inside. You know, get little tassels right there, the straps. But yeah, you can see how the Jeff Goldblum figure looks without that added robe, and you can see how thick that frickin' neck is, man. Wow. Is his neck really supposed to be that thick? Jeez. Now to get into the Grandmaster's articulation, you can move his head all the way up, which is fantastic, and you can't move his head downward that far. Whoa, that's a freaky looking neck. It does shift forward and back some. You get side-to-side motion and good head pivoting right here. We have different articulation for the arms, so the left side moves upward, down. You can rotate a full 360. It moves pretty close to the torso. I like that. Single jointed elbow, rotation at the elbow, wrist turn side to side, hinges up and down. On the right side, you can move the shoulder joint outward that far, and it moves down, rotates a full 360, bicep swivel, double jointed elbows, and then the wrist turns side to side, hinges up and down. You have this diaphragm joint right here. If you wanted to try to move it without unbuttoning the whole robe, it's really tricky to do. So if you didn't want to do that, you know, you're just going to limit that articulation. But removing that tab right there, you can move that diaphragm side to side. You get some good diaphragm pivot over here, which is a little shifty, a little tricky to use. There you go. So you kind of want to like shift over and then bend. It looks really weird, but yeah, you kind of have to shift in one direction or another. You can hear it clicking side to side, crunches forward, crunches back quite a bit, and again you want to do that shifting thing. It's kind of weird to explain. I'm not really familiar with that joint. I think it's a dumbbell joint. I'm not 100% sure though. But hips move outward right there, and he kicks forward that much, goes tootsies, and then it moves back a little bit, upper thigh cut, double jointed knees, then the ankles turn side to side, they move down, they move up, and he has beautiful ankle pivot. So here's first looking at the head sculpt with the binocular goggles, which is how he first appears in Guardians of the Galaxy, which I actually thought was a brilliant move. How is he going to be able to see everything in his whole collection, right? But I think this looks really good. I like that we get a little bit of silver right over here, so that's great. I really dig that quite a bit. I'm probably not going to have him displayed with these goggles on here though, but I really like how the hair came out. You can see some highlights and stuff going on right there. That makes me very happy. I dig that. Looks really good. And then the flesh tone looks great. You get the little thing going on in the middle of the bottom lip. Nice wrinkles. Dig it. Yep, and then here's looking at the ungoggled head sculpt. This very much looks like Benicio del Toro as the collector. I think they did a great job with this, man. This is definitely my preferred head sculpt out of the two. I mean, man, that photoreal tech is just uncanny. That really looks like Benicio del Toro. Especially like kind of tilting his head down a little bit, because that's how his posture is. You know, he's always kind of has his head down like, oh, mumble, mumble. But yeah, looking at the bone structure and everything, just looks great. I'm very pleased with this. And again, same detail with the hair. So I like that. It looks like they just took the same hairpiece and added it. And then looking at the neck, you can see a slight difference in flesh tone. Doesn't bother me a whole ton though. Then you can see that collar right there. Has some nice texturing to it. Nice red paint. I'm liking that. Very cool looking and interesting vest, and he has all these beads right over here from Mardi Gras, and then you can see right over there, well, he is a collector, he may have gone and collected some beads, you know, but yeah, looking right over here on the right side, you can see that cuff, and he does not have the sleeve on the right, but he does have it on the left, very much like his brother, and you can see this whole Dalmatian pattern going on right over here, looking really good, and then he has his coat looking pretty nice. You could feel the hard plastic fur in there and get some black paint over it and everything, so that looks really good, man. And if you wanted to take this off, you can, and you can see how it plugs into the back of the figure, and then you can see all this pattern right here on the inside of the coat, looking really nice. I like that. And then going back to the figure right there, you can see the butt, and this is the same as the Nick Fury legs. Again, they have different hip pieces. Collector and Grandmaster have different hips right up here, but the legs are from the most recent Nick Fury figure that we saw from the Captain Marvel Kree Sentry Build-A-Figure wave. And then you get the nice loafers right over here, which I believe are the same as Nick Fury's as well. And he has pegals at the bottom of his feet that look a little better than what I'd seen before, so I like seeing that. It's worth mentioning that he doesn't really have a hand that's really good for holding the orb. I mean, you have to splay the fingers out a little bit right here. I was just having it rest right here on the fingertips like that, so he doesn't really grip it too well, and this thing rolls all over the place. I don't know, maybe with this hand right here, yeah, that could possibly work, but I feel like I'm really stretching that thumb out. Oh, and there it goes again. Then to go over the collector's articulation, and with both head joints, you can make his head look upward that far, and he looks down quite a bit. You get side-to-side motion, a little bit of head tilting right there. On the left side, the shoulder moves all the way up. You see it's running into the coat a bit. Moves down. You could rotate a full 360 right there. You get a single jointed elbow that bends in at 90 degrees. You could rotate, and this wrist turns side to side and hinges up and down just like the right side, but on the shoulder, you can move it outward that much, and you can move it forward and all the way around. It does bump into the coat. You get a bicep swivel, double jointed elbows, and then you get this diaphragm joint right over here, and then some diaphragm pivoting, and he'll crunch forward quite a bit and back. Whoa, there's a lot of space right there, so you don't want to push it more back than that. He does have a waist swivel, unlike his brother, and then you can move his legs outward that far, and he kicks forward that much and back, upper thigh cut, double jointed knees, then the ankles turn side to side, they move down, they move up, and he has beautiful ankle pivot. Now to measure out the Collector and the Grandmaster, you can see that they're just barely over that 6.5 inch mark, and if you look at the height of these two, the Grandmaster is actually just a little bit shorter than the Collector over here, but Jeff Goldblum stands at 6'4", and Benicio del Toro stands at 6'2", and if you look at their eye lines right here, it is actually the Grandmaster that looks to be the tallest one if you're just going to go by the eye line. For a little BS size comparison, here's the regular Grandmaster next to the SDCC exclusive, so yeah, stay tuned for a proper comparison when I review this 2-pack set later this week. And then for your Thor Ragnarok figure comparison, we have the Build-A-Figure Gladiator Hulk, we have Valkyrie, and then we have Thor from the 2-pack, and I don't know where I put my Thor Ragnarok Loki figure. I just had it the other day, and I don't know where it is at the moment, but anyway, yeah, looking at the height, especially between Thor and Grandmaster, I don't know, I feel like Grandmaster should be taller. Chris Hemsworth is 6'3", Jeff Goldblum is 6'4", I mean, yeah, he could be a bit taller. And then for a Guardians of the Galaxy comparison figure, we have the Build-A-Figure Guardians 1 Groot, we have the Guardians 1 Gamora, and our Volume 2 Star-Lord. And then for our Elders of the Universe comparison, we have the Grandmaster, we have the Collector, and we have Ego. Can't remember exactly where, but I'm pretty sure I read somewhere that these guys are supposed to be brothers in the MCU. I don't think they are in the 616, but yeah, I think this is awesome regardless. We have our Elders of the Universe. And then here's the Grandmaster and the Collector next to the Thanos figure from the First 10 Years 3-pack. And we saw that scene in Infinity War with the Collector and Thanos, and I was wondering if that was actually real or if he had just made that up, right? Because he was using the Reality Stone, so maybe he was just reenacting what had happened earlier, or he had just made the whole thing up. But I do have a feeling he was reenacting what had happened earlier, right? He killed the Collector. And then here's the Grandmaster and the Collector next to your average 6-inch scale figure. We have the Marvel Legends Big Time Letdown Spider-Man. Whoa, dude, he's got a melt stick! Hey, do you think you can heat up my pizza, please? Oh, well, oh no, I've been collected. So I really like these figures a lot, man. I think they're both great characters. I'm really happy to see both of these actors in the MCU, to be honest with you. So just the appeal of these actors being in action figure form is very exciting. But realistically, I mean, there's not a whole ton you can do with them. There's not a whole lot of dynamic poses you need to get these characters into. However, I'm excited to have them in figure form and add them to my MCU villains shelf. I thought they were great characters, and they're pretty powerful characters overall, so they're very cool to have in action figure form, and I really do like this as an SDCC set. I think it's a very cool idea, even though we're just getting a new head sculpt with Grandmaster over there. So there's going to be a bit of frustration with people who want the collector figure and that aren't going to want to spend the money on a Grandmaster with just a slightly different head sculpt. So I can understand how people are going to get frustrated with that, but I do like the added accessory that we get with the Grandmaster, but I don't know. Let me know if you think it's justifiable. I'm going to give this 2-pack set a Sud rating of...
It's not too bad.
And don't put too much judgment on my rating. I like getting all the San Diego Comic-Con exclusives. You know, that's something I've just been a fan of doing. So anyway, I want to know what you guys think. Let me know in the comments section below. Hit the like button if you like this video. And then make sure you hit that subscribe button as well as the notification bell. And be sure to check out MarvelousNews.com for the latest in action figure news and a photo gallery of images. And a big thanks to all the people over on the right that support this YouTube channel over on Patreon. I sincerely appreciate it, you guys. And don't forget to follow me on social media over on Instagram, Twitter, Twitch, and Stardust. Links to everything in the description below. I'll catch you guys later. Peace!
Posing action figures, I'm posing action figures, I'm posing action figures every day. I'm posing action figures, I'm posing action figures, I'm posing action figures, it's okay.
That's crispy.
Hey, new ShartimusPrime videos. Hey, you should click one. Yeah, click on one of them. Or subscribe if you haven't.
Shot.